recapture the time before my mum died. It was a good time, and then it all went into a less good time, a bad time, well, a tough time. Yeah, makes you very independent. Makes you very cold and cut off. This is what we want. This is summer. Yeah, and now I'll run home. Past the refinery was where my dad worked in Llandarcy.
On the way, Eddie visits the site of his dad's old factory.
Must be there.
What are you searching for?
I don't know. I don't know. There was a time before and there was a time after, so I thought my mum was ill, and people get ill and get better, but she was terminally ill, and I didn't know about that. So there's a time before that got lost.
After 8 marathons in 9 days and suffering from blisters and injuries, he keeps running to the house where he lived with his mum. Some old family friends have gathered to greet him.
Remember you was a little boy going to school.
Oh wow!
And your mother not well. I'm old, but I can remember everything.
No, you've got a great memory. Because my mum died and I sort of locked all the memories in.
You didn't stay long after.
I know. Oh, sorry, my name's Eddie Izzard. I used to live here. So, this is the garden where we played.
She was never outside, no. She was in hospital and home and in hospital and home. She was never out about.
So we got here in October 67 and she died in March 68.
Very, very sad for the little boys especially. But then she was so ill, I suppose it was, they knew she wasn't going to get better.
So it's a nice house now. Sunshine. Probably always was a nice house. The death of my mother did make a yearning for something, and that has driven me down the way. And a lot of people in life have a similar thing, this drive because of something that wasn't there or disappeared from their family life. And maybe I'm just a big kid who's still determined to try and do these adventures that I invent in my head.
Reaching Skewen is a personal milestone, a huge achievement to run 200 miles in 9 days from London. But now he must run into the Brecons, the toughest terrain he's ever faced.
He'll do a marathon today.
And why is that?
But he won't let himself not do it.
They're famous for the military coming up here and people dying actually from hypothermia. So they got this mystique and a kind of scariness.
We've all been worried about it. There was a 3-mile hill that he had to climb, and you know what, my car had trouble getting up here.
This hill's been going for too long.
At probably his weakest point, he was powering up that hill like I just couldn't believe it. It just seems to be getting stronger and stronger.
The Brecon Beacons were going to be really scary. When the weather went good, it eases it because you look around and you could look at the hills and say, wow, how were these made? These look ancient.
At the reservoir, Eddie still has an uphill climb to the finish.
The hill just goes on, and if I think about how far the hill is, then I start to slow down. If I think about the end, then I slow down, and I have to just think about something else and get out of it. Otherwise, you just won't make it. Hello. Oh, bloody hell, guys. It's really steep. I'm going to throw it, okay? I know in the old days, just before I started this run, I would have gone, I'm not doing this. So I've changed my whole parameters. It's getting kind of great. And yesterday up here, you wouldn't have seen anything.
Since he left his old home, it seems like a weight has been lifted. Against the odds, he powers to the end.
The end, I can see the end. If you're competing against no one, you're always number one. And now the sprint finish. Number nine. Number 9. God, there's loads of flying ants. Let's run from the flying ants. Flying bloody ants. I didn't ask for flying ants.
After yesterday's achievement of reaching his old home, he's now determined to run 10 marathons in 11 days.
This is a big psychological term. My body is actually getting better. My body is acclimatizing to running. I'm becoming this marathon man thing that I believed was out there. I'd heard, talking to other runners, that you become a sort of machine, and the body is now, the brain is linking up with the body and saying, that's what we're doing now. We're going to run for all our life. It's just preparing forever. This is good weather. The weather you see here today was paid for by the BBC. I know everyone at home is very sophisticated, and the BBC have the power to buy weather now. And they bought this, and this costs, it's quite a lot of money. It's £27,000 worth of weather. Right. Joe has a great bedside manner and also is evil. I've got through one capital. I'm here on top of the Brecon Beacons, and maybe it starts here.
After yesterday's triumphant climb, the Brecon Beacons have only just begun. Eddie has no choice but to take one road to the finish, which happens to be a grueling ascent. He's making slow progress if he's going to make it to 10 marathons.
I'm going to make it to Bilth, which is another 13 miles. What's the time now? It's now 5:24. It's going to be close to sunset. But I just got to keep ploughing on. Everything, as you work on it, makes you tougher. And there's people sort of turning out and saying hello, so that's nice.
He's doing well. I just hope he's got that pace up those hills.
Run, walk or crawl. Today I do 10 marathons. Come hell or high water, come rain, shine, no matter what happens, I will do 10 today.
To try and take his mind off the steep incline, he explains where his motivation comes from.
I came up with 2 lines as a transvestite, and they got me a long way. Action transvestite and executive transvestite. They sort of explain me and where I, as someone of alternative sexuality, where I was placing myself. And so I know how these things work from experience. So, action transvestite is what you're watching on the screen. I'm a transvestite, but I will thump people if they give me a hard time, and I will run a marathon a day if they say I will. You know, it's straight transvestite. There are gay transvestites and bi transvestites, and I don't understand.